So, um, honestly, nothing really happened major in this episode except, the big thing was that Rudis saved Sarah from pretty much dying. So, pretty much, Rudis saved her life, Sarah's life, and it looks like from that Sarah has become more attached to Rudis, she started being more nice to him and it seems like she has grown some romantic feelings toward him. I don't know if it's completely romantic, but something did definitely, some kind of feeling did manifest in Sarah toward Rudy. It might be, admiration or romance. I mean, who knows? But probably in later episodes we will know. But what I want to focus on is not that, but I feel like the character development of Rudis and everything. So in the beginning of the episode, you can see him. His doing a lot better than he used to. His running every day, like he said, his running. You can see him do his push-ups in his room. He says he does that every day, and then even though it is ridiculous, he does pray at the shrine he built in his room. And obviously the material, the thing he's praying to is obviously Roxy's undergarments or whatever. But yeah, what I really want to focus on in this video, I felt like this episode did focus on, is how Rudis is doing as an individual. So we see throughout the episode, like especially towards the end, he kind of it seemed to me like he kind of overcame some kind of mental block that was blocking him from I think accepting his true self. And it took and all it took for him to finally accept what he is, pretty much what he is, his problems, and how he is as a person. All it took was him saving the life of Sarah. At the end of the episode, he saved the life of Sarah, and before that, you can see the look like Paul. Even Rudis admitted that the character that we did see today, the blonde-haired guy. Rudis even mentioned it, oh, he must have been exactly like how my dad was when he was younger, because he does look like Paul a lot. And I feel like with what we saw in season 1 of Paul, that he kind of gave me the impression of his a womanizer. He he's very carefree, and he has some, to me it looked like, he had some arrogance to him. So maybe that's why Rudis says, that guy really reminds me of Paul. I bet that was what Paul was like, in the, when he was younger. And so I felt like this episode just focused on Rudis' mental health, him kind of accepting his problems. And he accepted that he has to try to get better, because what he's doing right now is nothing really better. He is exercising, something he didn't do every day before, and he's starting to pray, which he didn't do before. But there's still, to me, I feel like there's still that mental block in Rudis' head that didn't allow him to, I guess, take responsibility of his actions and who he is, and what problems he did cause. And one thing I do want to mention was that he was actively searching for his mom. So before, he would say, I'm searching for my mom, but he wouldn't really say he wouldn't really tell anyone. To me, I felt like he used that as a cover story to say, oh, I'm just here. but instead he said, "Oh, I'm here to, try to find my mom." So I felt like before he used trying to find my mom to justify what he's been doing on these different islands, and I felt like he finally came here, like he realized, like, oh, I have to put in effort, like I have to actually help my mom, I have to find her zenith, and you see that he's talking to people like, oh, if you see zenith, like tell her like I'm looking for her here or something. And you see Rudis in a new light, kind of like he kind of accepted, Iris, she's gone, and Roxy's gone too, but they probably had, their own reasons. Like Iris had her own reason, even though he doesn't know it. Rocky had her own reason too, and he just kind of accepts everything at face value now, and I felt like that's a big step for his character development, because I feel like now that he's able to kind of accept things as they are, he'll be more honest with himself and others. Um, yeah, he'll just be, more honest and more of a good person, I guess, than he was before. Cause like I said, now he's accepting everything, the problems, the who he is as a person, and what he's doing and everything. So I just felt like this episode really focused on Rudis's mental stability or mental health. But yeah, just wanted to say that, and overall, I think it was a pretty cool episode. Obviously, I'm excited to see what they have in store for us for future episodes. Because obviously, again, I'm not a manga reader. I'm strictly an anime only viewer. So I think it'll be exciting to see what else they have in store for us. Like you know what's gonna happen. What's going on with Sophie now? Because last time we saw her, she was on her way to the Magic Academy with the princess and her bodyguard, I guess. And also, that kind of reminds me, I forgot to mention that while in the episode, he went exploring in this cave, this labyrinth, and it was explained that, oh, this was, where a human demon war happened, and you can see throughout the cave there's like statues of like buildings of other just built, like you can see the architecture. It's really, really old architecture. And then Rudis catches a glimpse of this statue that's, kind of, he can still identify, and that big statue was of the demon lord the demon empress that we met in season 1 core 2, I believe. And I don't know, I just felt like I would mention that because, like, kind of like, I just feel like now, if we brought that up, like if we brought that up, that's the statue of demon empress that I met back in a few months ago. I feel like that's kind of a sign of this character might come back, and if I am right, if the demon empress does come back to the show, I wonder what role she'll have in season 2, and what role she will have, in the future episodes, of core 2 as well. Cause yeah, if you guys didn't know, there's this season is gonna have 2 cores just like season 1, and core 2 they said, oh, it's gonna be releasing next year in spring of next year, so quite some time. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting if she has like some kind of role, or she might be involved in future episodes of season 2. But for now, I think it was a pretty solid episode. I mean, we did get things out of it. We got to know more of Rudy's mental stability and what he's actively doing to kind of, I guess, find Zenith and I guess save her. But yeah, great episode. But I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.